you think you're going?
I'm about to go get me a new bait caster.
Nice. You can get left-handed or right-handed?
Well, yeah, I'm right-handed, so I'm gonna go ahead and get me a right-handed reel.
You know the difference, right?
Yeah, so?
So young, so dumb. Man, sit down. Alright guys, I'm gonna tell you the same thing I would have told myself back in the day when I first bought my bait caster. And man, I wish I knew this back then because I would have saved a whole lot of money. So before I bought my first bait caster, I used my spinning reel for everything. I tied on frogs, I tied on crankbaits, I tied on everything on a spinning reel because that's all I knew how to throw. With that being said, I got real comfortable working all my baits with my right hand, having the rod in my right hand and reeling it with my left. I'm gonna give you 4 major things to think about when you go out and you buy your next or your very first bait caster. First thing you want to consider is power. What I mean by power is using everything with your dominant hand. I don't know about you guys, but I love throwing a frog. And if you love throwing a frog, 90% of the time you're gonna see, unless you're throwing those small ones, the hooks on them are really beefy. So if I'm throwing a frog, I would want to set, because that's really like a power hook set when you have those beefy hooks, I'd want to set it with my dominant hand. So with that being said, me reeling it in is going to be on my left hand side and me setting the hook on my power, and I can really fight it with my right hand. The next one is comfort. To me, I feel a lot more comfortable fighting a fish. Again, you fight a fish, I would want to use my dominant hand. It feels more comfortable fighting a fish with my dominant hand. I have more control, I feel. It's really easy to reel with my left hand. My first bait caster was a right-handed bait caster, and switching to a left-handed bait caster, it did feel a little bit unnatural, but I got over that within like 20 minutes. The next thing to think about, switching hands. Now, most of you don't know, but most of you who have bait caster know what I mean. When you cast with your right hand, this is a right-handed, my first bait caster, which is right-handed. When you cast with your right hand, you click it, the button, you hold the rod, and you cast it like this, right? Then when it hits the water, of course, you stop it with your thumb, and then you switch it. You switch your hand, and then you reel it, right? To me, that just didn't make any sense. This is my left-handed bait caster. So I push it, I cast it, and look. That to me makes sense. You cast it with this hand, and you reel it with this hand. The same way you would use an underspin. You cast it with the same hand, and you just leave it. You never have to switch it. To me, that makes a lot more sense, especially if, for those of you who have thrown it and as soon as it hits the water, there's a fish. You throw it, you see a fish, you got it, right? And that's how quick it is. My most important and actually the last deciding factor of why I ended up switching from a right-handed reel to a left-handed reel was movement. I have so much trouble working my frogs, my spooks, any jerk bait. I have so much trouble working it with my left hand than I do with my right. Maybe back in high school I could do it with both of these reels, but
I said don't disturb you, I'm cleaning my room!
man, high school was a long time ago, and I can only work it now with my right. With that being said, it comes really natural and really easy for me to work my lures, my spooks, my flukes, my jerk baits, frogs. For me to walk the frog, it's really easy for me to do with my right hand, and again, for me to set the hook. So that to me was a deciding factor. Now, if somebody was to ask me, like my boy Isaiah, he ended up asking me, he was gonna buy a reel, a bait caster, his first bait caster ever, and he asked me which one should he buy, and I right away knew which hand can you work your baits with. If you're gonna go out and buy yourself your first bait caster, or you're thinking about it, go outside and throw a lure and see which hand it's easier to work with. Maybe you've been throwing it like this, the conventional way, where everyone tells you if you're right-handed, get a right-handed bait caster, and it just doesn't feel right. Or you might want to consider getting both. If you can do it with both, cool. It gives your hand a break. So those of you that know, if you've been working a spook for a long time, like all day, how much your forearm and your wrist hurt. So if you can switch it up, might as well have two reels and just switch it up, and just like in high school, right? So with that being said, if somebody was to ask me which hand would I, which reel would I choose, I would definitely choose the one where you can work the bait the easiest. Before I get out of here, you guys please smash that like button. It doesn't cost a thing. It doesn't hurt anybody. People are holding on to those likes. Like, you only get a certain amount a day. Please subscribe. And if you are subscribed or you do become subscribed, yo, welcome to the fam. Love y'all. God bless.
I found somebody else. Okay? I'm in love. Don't look at me like that. We could still be friends.